It can be hard balancing taking care of kids, senior loved ones, and yourself. Remember, it's okay to ask for help. There's a reason 29 million families have turned to Care.com. Find background-checked sitters, nannies, and senior caregivers who can help with everything from watching kids after school to senior meal prep. Whether you need full-time, part-time, or even occasional help, you can view rates and book highly rated caregivers that fit your budget and schedule. Get the help you need with Care.com.
On today's Smart 7, Keir Starmer pledges NHS reform, Team GB does us proud at the Paralympics, and lots more. It's Monday 9th of September, it's National Teddy Bear Day, and happy birthday Hugh Grant.
The Smart 7. It's news, but not the news.
On Sunday, PM Keir Starmer sat down for his first major Downing Street interview with Laura Kuenssberg to discuss his government's progress. They talked about the cutback on winter fuel payments, the rise in far-right violence and NHS reform. It comes after a report from leading surgeon and crossbench peer Lord Darzi revealed routine care in the NHS dropped, more than in other developed health systems during the pandemic. He also found that over 100,000 children under 2 years of age waited for more than 6 hours in English A&E departments last year. So Keir has promised reform.
The only way out of this now is reform. Only a Labour government can reform the NHS. I promised we'd get the NHS on its feet again, but I also promised I'd make it fit for the future.
NHS Confederation CEO Matthew Taylor says a total overhaul is needed.
The NHS cannot transform in the way that it needs to unless we have more capital investment. But the issue is access. Too many people are waiting on waiting lists, and it's that access issue that we need to deal with.
MPs are gearing up for Tuesday's controversial vote on cutting back the winter fuel allowance. There's already been some dissent within Labour over the proposal, which would introduce a means test for receiving the payment and see 10 million pensioners miss out. Sir Keir Starmer's urging MPs to back the plan, but hasn't confirmed if Rebels will be stripped of the whip. Health Secretary Wes Streeting says he'll be voting very reluctantly.
But I'm not remotely happy about it, and I'm not remotely happy about having to say to some of my constituents, I'm sorry that I'm going into work this week to vote for something that will take money away from you.
But Sir Keir's sticking to his guns and insists there's plenty of safeguards like the triple lock to protect those affected.
The amount of increase in the pension will outstrip any loss. It's a tough decision, but I'm determined that we will take the tough decisions because the change will only happen if we fix the foundations now.
CIA Director Bill Burns and MI6 Chief Richard Moore made their first ever joint public appearance at the Financial Times Weekend Festival in London on Saturday. They discussed major global threats, including conflicts in Ukraine and the Middle East, Russian sabotage in Europe, and the rise of China, warning that the world order is under its greatest strain since the Cold War. It comes as Moscow claims to have captured another town in eastern Ukraine near the strategic city of Pokrovsk and continues to target Kyiv in drone strikes reported on Monday night. Meanwhile, 3 more people were confirmed dead after last week's missile strike on Poltava. But Bill Burns says that Ukraine's Kursk offensive is causing serious problems for Russian President Putin.
Putin's whole narrative right now is a very cocky, very smug one. It's time's on my side, and all of their supporters in the West are going to be worn down, and I'll be able to dictate my terms for a settlement. And I think, what these events have done, the Kursk offensive, is to put a dent in that narrative.
American VP Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump are getting ready to face off for the first time at Tuesday's presidential debate. Both stepped off the campaign trail on Sunday to prep, with Kamala's husband Doug M. Hoff taking her place at a campaign stop in the swing state of Pennsylvania, while Republican VP nominee J.D. Vance attended a fundraiser in L.A. It comes as a New York Times poll found the pair to be neck and neck, heading into the home stretch, with many voters saying they still want to learn more about Harris. Still, she was racking up endorsements over the weekend, including from former GOP leader Liz Cheney and her husband, ex-Vice President Dick Cheney.
I'm honored to have their endorsement, and I think that what they both, as leaders who are well respected, are making an important statement that it's okay, and if not important, to put country above party.
Still to come on the Smart 7, Team GB maintained Paralympic winning streak and Super Bowl halftime show announced right after this.
This season, Instacart has your back to school. As in, they've got your back-to-school lunch favorites like snack packs and fresh fruit. And they've got your back-to-school supplies like backpacks, binders, and pencils. And they've got your back when your kid casually tells you they have a huge school project due tomorrow. Let's face it, we were all that kid. So first, call your parents to say I'm sorry, and then download the Instacart app to get delivery in as fast as 30 minutes all school year long. Get a $0 delivery fee with your first 3 orders while supplies last. Minimum $10 an order. Additional terms apply.
Welcome back.
The 2024 Paralympic Games came to a close on Sunday, and Team GB secured second place on the medal table for a third consecutive Games, finishing behind China with 124 medals and 49 golds. Amongst the big stories of the final weekend was British wheelchair racer Hannah Cockcroft winning her 9th Paralympic gold and second of these Games in the T34 800-metre final on Saturday. Her teammate Carrie Adenigan took silver to ensure a British won too. Meanwhile, legendary wheelchair athlete David Weir announced his retirement from international competition on Sunday after finishing 5th in the T54 marathon, just missing out on the medals. Here's what he had to say.
You know, I'm probably the oldest in that field today. So to come 5th, I should be proud of myself, to be honest. And that'll be my last international. This is my last race.
Oh, really?
So I'm retiring from GB. So I'll still do the major marathons around the world, but this is my last Paralympics.
On Sunday, the NFL and Apple Music announced Kendrick Lamar as the halftime act for next year's Super Bowl. It's the second time that he will have performed at the show, but it's his first time headlining. Regarded as one of the most inventive lyricists in hip-hop, the Compton-born rapper won the Pulitzer Prize for Music in 2018. The Super Bowl is the biggest sporting event in the United States, drawing in tens of millions of viewers, as well as being broadcast around the world. Lamar has had 2 number-1 singles in the US this year, both diss tracks against Drake. He is set to take to the stage at the Caesars Superdome in New Orleans on February 9th.
What the deal, everybody? My name's Kendrick Lamar, and I'll be performing at Super Bowl 59. Will you be pulling up? I hope so. You know, it's only one opportunity to win a championship. No round twos. Let's get it. Woo!
Pop star Demi Lovato was once the face of the Disney Channel, but she stepped behind the camera for her directorial debut with Child Star, a documentary exploring the darker side of child stardom. In the film, Demi interviews several celebs who've navigated the challenges of growing up in the limelight, including Macaulay Culkin, Drew Barrymore, and Raven Simone. It'll be available to stream on Hulu in the US from September 17th, with a UK release date still in the works. But the first trailer's just dropped, so you can still get a taste of what's to come.
There were just these intense pressures.
I was struggling. My first accountant ran away with my biggest earnings up to that point.
There's nothing left for me at the end of the day.
The popular girls signed a suicide petition saying that I should kill myself.
There was a sense of walking on eggshells.
I'm genuinely so sorry.
You've been listening to The Smart 7. We'll be back tomorrow at 7 a.m. Hit that follow button and have a great day. Give us 7 minutes and we'll give you the...
Discover Hydro, the best kept secret in fitness. Hydro is the state-of-the-art at-home rower that engages 86% of your muscles, delivering the ultimate full-body workout in just 20 minutes. From advanced to beginner, Hydro has over 500 classes shot worldwide and taught by Olympians and world-class athletes. For a 30-day risk-free trial, go to Hydro.com and use code ROW450 to save $450 on a Hydro Pro rower. That's HYDROW.com, code ROW450.